From the beginning of when our country was established, we had 3 documents that our government was based on, which was the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Magna Carta. And all 3 of these documents were written in English, so English has been the basis of our government since when we were established.
Our founding fathers wouldn't write these documents in English if they didn't think our official language should be English. They didn't write them in Latin, they didn't write them in Spanish. They wrote it in English because they knew that the majority of our country spoke that. To clarify also, like when you're applying for a job or you are just taking a test, to clarify that unless the government decides to provide it, no one has an entitlement or right to government services or documents in a language other than English. So if you don't understand the document because of you don't understand one common language, then that's on you. It's your responsibility as an American citizen to know this language.
Our U.S. Army and our federal government and courts and everything are ran in English, so
It's important, the bottom line is it's very important that everyone has one basis.
30 seconds.
Okay. It's very important because this is what's going to bind our America. It's what's going to bind America together as a country. So we'll be able to move farther in the future. Yes.
Okay, they can see their time. Okay, 1 minute. They only want okay. 1 minute to ask questions, then they'll be given a minute to answer those. Okay, and go.
Isn't it better to be a strong country through diversity rather than through similarity?
Any other questions you can ask them too?
They said that our founding fathers wrote the Constitution and some of our formal documents in English because they wanted to found the United States on English, but one of our
30 seconds.
major founding fathers was Benjamin Franklin, and he spoke 5 languages, and so he could have wrote it in any of them, so he just picked English.
So why did he pick
I don't know.
How much time do we have left?
10 seconds.
Many believe that if we do establish English as our main language, then it
Time's
actually
up. Okay. All right, 1 minute to respond.
Okay, to recognize that while the people in the United States value and respect diversity, we also want to preserve English as our common language, and therefore immigrants have the responsibility to learn English.
And when Ben Franklin helped write the documents, he wasn't the only one writing them. So he had to pick a language that the majority of the people understood. Sorry.
To conclude the answer to your question, the United States does not want to diminish the immigrant's sense of self, but we want to preserve our original culture.
Back to what I was saying that Ben Franklin had to pick a language that the majority of the people understood. So he couldn't just write in any language that he wanted to, because all of the people that were coming with him probably only understood 1 or 2 maybe other languages.
Okay. Your
The concept is that teaching English language learners, particularly in their native language, will enhance their understanding of the curriculum and will not make them feel left out in the classroom.
should not be the official language because having so many languages spoken in America is what makes our country amazing. We are all different.
Time. Okay, 1 minute, second question?
First of all, to become citizens, their parents of these children must be able to speak and write English. So they could pick up on what their parents are learning before they go into school. And usually schools do have teachers that if someone is learning a second language that they can pull them out and help them if they're struggling.
So the question is, why wouldn't they be given, or they would be given service?
30
So
seconds.
why would this be an issue?
And why wouldn't, it would be difficult for them to, like, adjust with all different, like, if someone was speaking English, it would be difficult for them to adjust, so why would they just focus on that one student? Does that make sense?
Like, we actually have a person in here who came from another country, and there's a teacher that comes in and helps her if she needs assistance.
Time. 1 minute to answer. Question?
Where they're going and what they're getting themselves into. You're going to the United States. You know for a fact the majority of the people speak English. So since you know that at the U.S. their homeland, it can be well versed. Like we're very diverse in the United States, but we're also like the rights and the laws protecting them. Since we are since we're helping them out by giving them different documents in these different languages, it's also costing us billions of extra dollars, which could be going to school systems or anything else that our country may need. Instead, we're spending billions of dollars on creating these documents in different languages, such as signs and billboards and things like that.
In border towns across the Mexico border and the Canadian border, there are towns that print their road signs and their billboards in both English and either French or Spanish. And so if we just had English as official language, we wouldn't feel the need to print these signs in different languages so that the people who are coming down to visit the United States or immigrating, they don't feel like we have to provide them with those signs so that they can understand where they're going.
And, like, if you go to a theme park, it's kind of better if you have people that can speak in a different language, but that also costs more. If you have, like, more someone to help them, it's better because, you know, a lot of,
Time.
okay.
Okay, 1 minute to question?
Y'all said that it costs so much to print in other languages on signs and billboards and documents for these people, and that the U.S. is spending so much money on that, but we're also helping other countries with their own problems and spending billions and billions there, but we can't help our own people and help them feel like they're a part of our country instead of making them feel segregated and like they don't belong here. And
30 seconds.
English is optional in that English should be spoken. Neither message is advantageous to immigrants. Rather than the government should encourage diversity and accept that individuals are free to speak the language of their choosing. At the same time, lawmakers should stress the importance of learning English and provide ample opportunities for residents to do so. The majority of native-born Americans speak English, and in many areas, signs and documents.
Okay,
1
so,
minute to respond.
alright. So you say we're already spending billions of dollars in the other countries helping them. Yeah, we're spending all of our hard-earned money that we should be spending over here and over there. Like, so they know the deal. If they're gonna come here, they should know English, because we're already putting our men and women in the forces out there to help protect them. So why should we have to help them even more here by spending even billions and billions and more of our money to create these documents for them?
Basically, the cost of spending money overseas and spending money in the United States, it builds up and it just costs even more than if we just focused on English and where our country came from.
This is a big problem in the United States. It may seem very, very small, but it's part of the reason why we are in so much debt.
Time. Good, all right. I think it's time now. Continue our argument, or is it fun? It's continue your argument.
Immigration to North America began with
State citizen, these immigrants have to be able to read and write English. And so why is the government still promoting the use of a variety of language? So we're still allowing them all equal rights and opportunities as long as they can go through this process. A survey by the Pew Hispanic Center said that 87% of Hispanics believe that Hispanic immigrants need to learn English to succeed in the United States. So, to succeed in the United States in any job you may have, it's more than important that you know the English language.
We're not trying to eliminate all of the other languages, we're just trying to have one unifying language that the majority of us.
1 minute to respond. 1
We
minute
are a
to-
land of independence and individuality. Foreigners like to know that America doesn't have an official language because it makes them feel like they can be a part of a country, something that everyone deserves to be a part of.
The First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States has granted freedom of religion and required that the Congress shall pass no law abridging the freedom of speech. And the United States has also survived 200 years without it being the official language.
30 seconds.
Limiting government business and documents to only English is far too limiting with the large Hispanic populations across this great nation.
15 seconds.
States will be free to offer immigration and vital services, translators or the foreign language they wish at home, in neighborhoods and among friends.
Time. I guess 2 minutes to Fred, right? 2 minutes, Fred?
Okay. So when they leave their own country to come to ours, America, their question is, why are they leaving in the first place? And so, hold on, I'm trying to figure out what to say. So, they know, so there obviously is a reason that they're leaving. And so when they come here, they're looking for new opportunities.
Xenophobia and deprives immigrants of basic rights to communicate.
America is beautiful because we are made up of all the people from all around the world, and we are in one country. So let us not make the mistake of implementing English as our official language. Making English the official language is not patriotism, it's prejudice, bias, and immoral.
Officially making English the sole language in the United States is not patriotism. To the people that say this is America, speak English, do they not remember how our country was created? It is a melting pot.
Time.
Okay, you said that we should learn a second language, and our question is that we're not going to another country, and they're moving into our country, and whenever you go to a different country, people are not willing to help you with speaking their language. Like if you were to visit China, people aren't going to help you learn Chinese